Good morning, friends. Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado, registered pharmacist number 12275. I specialize in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your vitality and health and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more knowledgeable. You are more and more in control of your body, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That's why we're here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 29 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity, skin diseases, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure, because the human biological system is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, we want to hear from you. We welcome your calls on The Bright Side at 844-236-6010. If you have questions about prescription drugs or nutritional supplements, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you do that. 844-236-6010 is our number. And, of course, if you want to share a success story or just contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010 is our phone number today and every day on The Bright Side. If you're interested in purchasing any of the longevity products you heard about, or you heard it on the program, or heard advertised on the program, or recommended on the program, we can help you do that. Call the phone team at 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. You can also head over to my blog, pharmacistben.com or criticalhealthnews.com, and order products right off the website. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team right off the websites, criticalhealthnews.com, pharmacistben.com, and, of course, brightsideben.com. You can also call the phone team at 866-735-2470. 866-735-2470. And if you're interested in purchasing any of our Truth Treatment products, including our 5% retinol gel, no preservatives, no fragrances, no emulsifiers, no surfactants, just active and functional ingredients. All my Truth products are active and functional only. You shouldn't have to pay for wax, folks. You shouldn't have to pay for fillers. You shouldn't have to pay for emulsifiers. You shouldn't have to pay for surface active agents and preservatives and fragrances and water and all the other stuff that you pay for when you buy a skincare product. That's the whole point of the Truth. That's why I call it the Truth, because the truth is you don't need all that stuff. And the truth is you shouldn't be paying for all that stuff. You can check out all my Truth Treatment products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, welcome back to The Bright Side. We're talking about the glands, the hormone centers, and the chakras as they relate to the chakras. Don't want to get too airy-fairy or too spiritual on the bright side, but it's hard to avoid it sometimes when we're talking about health. The chakras are the ancient, or the term that the ancient practitioners of what we call Eastern medicine used to call the hormone centers. They didn't know about hormones 4,000, 3,000, 5,000 years ago. They didn't know about glands 5,000 years ago. But they sure knew that there was something going on in terms of these centers of the body. They call them chakras, which means wheels. And that refers to the fact that the ancient folks perceive these centers as vortexes of energy, circulating vortexes of energies. Hence the name chakra or wheel. The first wheel, the first chakra, the first hormone center is associated with the survival response, the stress response, and that's the one we're talking about. That's the adrenal glands, the fight or flight gland, the fight or flight chakra. It keeps us alive in emergency situations. Got a lot of problems in our culture that are associated with this center, this stress center, this survival center, which is associated with fight or flight. We'll be talking about that here in a minute. Second chakra, second hormone center, is the reproductive center. Your ovaries, testes, the gonads. These are associated with harmony, with family, with birthing and creativity, with life creativity. Giving and receiving are associated with this chakra or this hormone center. And of course, we know that we've got large issues with ovarian cancers and reproductive diseases and prostate diseases in this center. We've got lots of second chakra health issues in our culture. Likewise, the third chakra, which is the digestive system chakra. That's our power chakra. That's associated with independence, self-control, personal authority. The third chakra is our personal authority chakra, the third hormone center, the solar plexus. This is where we become grounded in the world, centered in the world. It's truly the center of our body. Fourth chakra is our heart chakra, and again, we got problems here too. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in this country and around the world. Not surprisingly, when you consider that this heart center is associated with group consciousness, with understanding, with unity, with harmony. The fifth chakra, also immunity, by the way, is located in the fourth chakra, which is ruled by the thymus gland. The fifth chakra is your thyroid. That's the power of creativity. We also got lots of problems here too. We got a lot of problems everywhere, but the thyroid is associated with the fifth chakra, your throat chakra, they call it. It's associated with expression and the power of the spoken word. Also, breathing is regulated here at the thyroid level. Between the thyroid level, the fifth chakra, and the fourth chakra, which rules the lungs. Then you have the sixth chakra, which is Descartes called it the seat of the soul, along with the pineal gland, which is the seventh chakra. These are your ruler chakras. The sixth chakra is your third eye chakra, and the seventh is your crown chakra. That's your pituitary gland and your pineal gland. Love this pineal gland stuff. We talked a little bit about how the church and religious organizations and spiritual organizations and occult organizations have always worshipped the pine cone and the pineal gland, which is where something called DMT, dimethyltryptamine, is made. A powerful, powerful, powerful hormone-like substance that's been called the spirit molecule by Dr. Rick Strassman. He wrote a book called The Spirit Molecule, talking about DMT. I'm not going to get too much into that, but I'm telling you, if you want to read a cool book, that's one cool book. All about DMT. Melatonin and serotonin are also made in the pineal gland. For now, I want to talk about the adrenal glands, the first chakra, and the survival chakra, the fight or flight chakra. The skin and the adrenal glands have a very important relationship. Adrenal health issues are always going to show up on the skin, and many skin problems are linked to survival, to stress. And this makes sense because the skin is a protective structure. It's a defensive structure. So of course, there's going to be a relationship between protection and defense and survival and the skin. Later on, we're going to talk about the other glands slash chakras and how they relate to hormone secretions in the skin. But for now, let's talk about the adrenal glands because there's so much to talk about when it comes to adrenal health and skin health. Adrenal hormones come in two varieties, two major classes. You've got stress hormones that are made out of the adrenal glands, survival hormones, and then you have what are called somewhat inexactly the sex hormones. They're not really sex hormones, although we call them that. I call them our youth and vitality hormones because they are associated with reproduction. They are associated with sex in that way. They're associated with making babies. But they're also associated with growth and repair and anti-aging, especially when it comes to having beautiful skin. Especially when it comes to having healthy skin, attractive skin, glowing skin, clear skin, youthful skin. Our so-called sex hormones, testosterone, estrogen, DHEA, progesterone, especially progesterone, pregnenolone. These are our youth and fertility hormones, and they are incredibly important for having beautiful skin. If you've got a hormone problem at the adrenal gland level, you can use all the darn wrinkle cream you want, and you're still going to get wrinkles. You can use all the skin lightening cream you want, and you're going to still have dark spots. You can use all the acne and acne products and oily skin products, and you're still going to have zits and oily skin. The adrenal glands and understanding the adrenal glands and working with the adrenal glands is incredibly important for having beautiful skin at any age. This link between the skin and the adrenals is super fascinating. Even though we've spent a lot of time talking about adrenal health and the stress response as it regards heart disease, as it regards immunity, problems with the immune system, problems with the digestive system, problems with the thyroid. But in my opinion, this link between beauty and the adrenal glands should not be underestimated. I've been in the skincare business for over 32 years, and in my opinion, the best wrinkle cream there is working on your adrenal glands. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. Our number is 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. We'll be back right after this. the bright side. I am pharmacist Ben. Thanks for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on the archive pages at brightsideben.com and brightsideben.com. BenFuchsArchives.com and brightsideben.com. We got archives up and search engines up on both of those websites. We can also you can also order products off our blogs, criticalhealthnews.com and pharmacistben.com, or brightsideben.com as well. Or you can call the phone team at 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. And of course, if you're dealing with any of the signs of accelerated aging, dark spots, fine lines and wrinkles, or if you have acne or oily skin, check out my Truth Treatment Retinol Gel, 5% retinol gel, effective for zits, acne, oily skin, as well as for wrinkles and dark spots. Retinol is absolutely amazing stuff, but you got to have enough of it. That's why I put 5% retinol in our Truth Retinol Gel. You can find out all about it at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, I've been getting tons of letters from Dr. Wallach's appearance on George Norrie a couple days ago. Letters to Critical Health News, our website, criticalhealthnews.com. I want to go over some of these letters. I think I'll do that. If we don't get calls anyway, I'll do that in our next segment. 844-236-6010 is our number. We do have a full board open for you at 844-236-6010. But I got so many letters. And these letters are just kind of basic information, but it really reminds me about how we're in big trouble, folks. There are so many people who aren't listening to this program who have no idea of how to take care of their bodies or how their bodies work or what to do about peripheral neuropathy and heart issues and skin issues and erectile dysfunction issues and especially tinnitus and macular degeneration and Alzheimer's disease. It's so tragic. It is so heartbreaking. Folks, nobody has to suffer this way. Nobody does. And the medical model is a failure. We have to get this through our heads. When it comes to chronic degenerative disease, there is nothing your doctor can do. Nothing. The medical model is not allowed in the body at the level of where a cell breaks down, at the level of a cell. Sure, the medical model can poison a cell with drugs. Sure, the medical model can remove a cell or radiate a cell through surgery or through toxic radiation. But it cannot help us at the level of a cell where disease begins. It cannot help us at the level of dirty blood, which precedes cell disease. All disease is cell disease, and all cell disease is dirty blood, but it doesn't matter. And this is so heartbreaking. If you could hear these letters, if you could see these letters that I get or hear these phone calls that I get, it is so tragic and so unnecessary. And I know I'm guilty of beating up on the medical model. I'm guilty of beating up on physicians, but it's not their fault because it's not their job to take care of ourselves, to take care of us at the level of a cell, at the level of a blood, at the level of our peripheral neuropathies and our Alzheimer's disease and our tinnitus and our macular degeneration. So in our next segment, if we don't get calls anyway, in our next segment, I'm going to go over some of these letters. It just breaks my heart. All right. So the connection between the skin and the adrenals, super fascinating. There's two basic hormone types that you have coming out of the adrenal glands. You got your happy hormones and your sad hormones. I don't want to put it that way, but that's kind of simplistic. But they're your stress hormones, your survival hormones, and your growth and repair and anti-aging hormones. These are two distinct classes of hormones, but they are both derived from the same chemical. Yes, our stress hormones come from the same raw material, and our fertility and youth and growth and repair and anti-aging hormones come from the same material. It's called cholesterol. In fact, cortisol is a type of cholesterol, and estrogen and testosterone are types of cholesterol, and progesterone is a type of cholesterol, and pregnenolone and DHEA are types of cholesterol. In fact, all our steroid hormones that come out of the adrenal glands, they're all cholesterol. They're all types of cholesterol. Just another reason why it's so idiotic to take a drug that shuts down cholesterol. If you shut down your cholesterol, you're going to be shutting down the production of all your steroid hormones, which are types of cholesterol. Tell that to your doctor the next time he wants to put you on a statin drug or tells you to watch your cholesterol levels. Estrogen is virtually cholesterol. For all intents and purposes, if you look at the chemical structure of estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, DHEA, pregnenolone, all the hormones that make our skin beautiful, that fight wrinkles, that build bone, that build muscle, that make us smarter, that support our immune system, they're all types of cholesterol. Now, they're functionally different, certainly. Estrogen is different functionally from progesterone. Testosterone is different functionally from estrogen, but from a chemistry structure standpoint, they're basically the same. And when you shut down your production of cholesterol artificially by taking a poison drug, you're shutting down the production of all these super duper important hormones. And by the way, when the body needs more cortisol because it's under stress, or when the body needs more testosterone because it's repairing, or when the body needs more progesterone because it needs to relax or perhaps make a baby, guess what it's going to do? It's going to upregulate cholesterol. You're going to make more cholesterol when you're under stress. You're going to make more cholesterol when you need to heal. You're going to make more cholesterol when you need to build. You're going to make more cholesterol post-surgery. You're going to make more cholesterol if you're exercising. In fact, you're going to make more cholesterol anytime the body thinks it needs to be building. And this, friends, this is the real problem with elevated levels of cholesterol. We have tricked the body into thinking it's in building mode, but we're not building. We have tricked the body through our food choices into thinking that it's supposed to be building, but we're not doing anything to make it build. We're not working out. We're not exercising. We're not doing resistance training. We're not walking. We're not doing physical exercise that is associated with building, but at the same time, we're sending the body signals that it should be building. That's called mixed messages. The chemical message that the body gets through our food choices is, oh, it's time to build. The chemical messages that the body gets through our lifestyle choices, our exercise choices is, oh, it's time to store. It's time to store energy. We don't need to be building. We don't need to be using energy. And these mixed messages are what account for, number one, obesity and blood sugar problems, and number two, elevated cholesterol. And what is it that sends the body messages that it should be building when we're not building? It's called sugar. And this is the connection between sugar and cholesterol. And this is the reason why we're dealing with issues of hypercholesterol. We have sent the body signals through our intake of sugar, through our elevated insulin, that it should be in building mode, but we're not building because we're not exercising. We're not stimulating the building process. The chemistry says building, but our lifestyle says not building. So the cholesterol levels build up and the energy gets stored. If you want to drop your cholesterol, reduce your sugar intake, period, end of story. And tell that to the next boneheaded medical professional who tries to put you on a statin drug. And any diabetic will tell you that blood sugar and elevated cholesterol go hand in hand. You drop your sugar, your cholesterol drops, your weight drops, your blood pressure drops, and you live longer too, without a statin drug, without toxing your body, without a cardiologist, without a doctor, without the medical model, period. So elevated blood sugar and elevated insulin signal the body that should be building. These upregulate the production, the synthesis of cholesterol. And this is especially important as we get older. As we get older, our adrenal glands are supposed to make more and more of our steroid hormones. When we're younger, our gonads, our testes, and our ovaries are making our steroid hormones. But as we get older, the adrenal glands pick up the slack. But if our adrenal glands are off making stress hormones, they're not going to be making sex hormones. This is super duper important if you're interested in anti-aging. All right, we'll take a break and come back with more good health information and your phone calls, 844-236-6010. Now take a couple letters here as well. All right, we're back on the bright side, and we do have lines open at 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. Tomorrow we'll talk more about the adrenal glands and stress hormones, and we'll talk about this link between all the good stuff, the fertility hormones, the youth hormones, the repair hormones, the anti-aging hormones, the anti-wrinkle hormones, the skin health hormones, the good stuff, and the relationship between the stress hormones. Basically, if you're out making stress hormones, you're not making the good stuff. And that's so important to understand because it underscores the relationship between stress and disease and calming the body down. This is so critical to understand because your doctor's not going to tell you this. And it's not his fault, by the way. As much as I rip into the medical model, it's not their fault. That's not their job. That's our job. Good health is as simple as correcting digestive health issues, stabilizing the blood sugar, and calming the body down. I've been getting all kinds of letters on the website, criticalhealthnews.com, from Dr. Wallach's appearance. Every time I go on coast to coast, we get tons of letters, and it's just so heartbreaking because it's unnecessary. I'm going to go over some of these letters just to show you how simple it is to reverse all chronic degenerative diseases, and at the same time how problematic our health challenges are because nobody's telling us about this simplicity. But we got a guy on hold here. I want to get to Eric in Texas, and then we'll go over a couple letters. 844-236-6010 is our number. What's up, Eric? How you doing, man? Eric in Texas.
Hey.
Hey.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to get some advice on my mom. Got diagnosed with FD.
I need you to speak up, bro. Can you speak up a little bit, Eric?
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
I wanted to get some advice on my mom. She got diagnosed with FD several years ago. Has some bad liver cirrhosis and is getting ascites pretty bad.
I need you to speak. Eric, I'm sorry, man. I want to hear what you're saying. I want everybody to hear what you're saying, but I need you to speak slowly and clearly because I'm having a hard time. I heard Hep C and I heard cirrhosis, but speak into the phone and slowly.
Okay, sorry. She's getting ascites pretty bad, getting drained every week now.
Ascites, for the listeners, is swelling in the abdomen, secondary to liver problems. Okay, how old's your mom?
She's 48.
Okay, so we got hepatitis C, we've got cirrhosis, and we got the ascites of the abdomen, which is when fluid starts to build up in the abdomen following liver disease. Is she an alcoholic or a drinker?
No, she got it from a blood transfusion when she was younger.
Okay, so here's the deal. The letter after the word hepatitis doesn't matter. These are just silly medical distinctions, but they don't matter in terms of reversing the disease. She has hepatitis, period. Hepa means liver, itis means inflammation, okay? That means liver inflammation. That means the liver isn't doing its business, period. Cirrhosis is a breakdown in the liver cells. It involves fats that start to deposit. The liver gets messed up, period. Okay? Now, the liver is the most multifunctional organ in the body. It does an enormous amount of different things. It stores protein, amino acids, and sugars, and fats, and detoxifies. It's involved in digestion, and it's just a ridiculously important function. Ancient people used to think that the liver was actually the center of the body. That's how important the liver is. So here's the most important thing to understand about reversing hepatitis or any liver issue. And by the way, Eric, 100 million Americans, 1 out of 3 Americans have a liver problem. It's so common that doctors think it's normal, and they'll tell you it's normal. It isn't normal. So while your mom is having a dramatic problem with her liver, everybody's got it, or a lot of people, I should say, have some component or some aspect of liver disease, which makes perfect sense when you consider that the job the liver's doing involves digestion. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to do when you have hepatitis is work with foods when you have any liver problem or you don't want a liver problem. Okay, you with me, Eric?
Yes.
Have your mom immediately do what's called a food diary, where you write down everything you eat and then associate digestive health issues with specific foods and then eliminate the foods. Now, if she were to fast for 24 hours or do a Swear-O-V cleanse, which is where you fast by using a bottle of drinking half a bottle of Swear-O-V every hour, 6 bottles in a 12-hour period, she'll notice relief just by fasting. She does need to obviously eat again, but when she starts eating again, she should be eating very carefully, paying close attention to how her body responds to specific foods, especially fatty foods. That's the first step. The second step is to start to use nutrition that supports the digestive system. Remember, the liver's a digestive organ, so to work with the liver, you got to work on the digestive system. That means in addition to eliminating problem foods, get her on the Biolumin Nightly Essence, probiotics, have her eating fermented foods, miso, tempeh, kimchi, etc. Have her use digestive enzymes. The Ultimate Enzymes are a wonderful digestive enzyme. She wants super premium digestive enzymes. She can go to brightsidehealthproducts.com. When she's using digestive enzymes, have her make sure they contain lipase, L-I-P-A-S-E, and bile salts, that's B-I-L-E, bile salts. And it wouldn't hurt her to make sure that her digestive enzymes have something called betaine, B-E-T-A-I-N-E, in them as well. A little apple cider vinegar after meals can help too. There's an awesome amino acid called glutamine, G-L-U-T-A-M-I-N-E, which can help with the liver. The B complex is stupendously important for liver health as well, as is vitamin C and as are essential fatty acids. I guarantee you her doctor hasn't talked to her about any of this stuff. So it's fasting, probiotics, digestive enzymes, apple cider vinegar, the B complex, essential fatty acids, glutamine, and vitamin E. There's more, but that's a great start. Vitamin E, by the way, 400 international units a day. And then while you're at it, the selenium might help too. Ultimate selenium, 400 micrograms a day, and something called NAC or NAC can be very helpful for the liver. The second aspect is going to be blood sugar. Liver processes sugar, especially fructose, by the way, fruit sugar. So restricting, actually, in my opinion, Eric, your mom should have zero tolerance for anything that breaks down rapidly into sugar, and certainly straight sugar. Desserts, fruit juice, pasta, potatoes, bread, all the foods we love, burritos, rice, all the foods we love. Most of us can get away with a little bit of it, but for your mom, when she has hepatitis, she should be staying completely away from those kinds of foods. Using nutrients that help her process sugar will help also. The sweeties made with chromium and vanadium can be important. All her electrolytes can be important. Potassium, calcium, magnesium, sodium, all of these are very important for liver health. And then last but most certainly not least, activating what we call here on the bright side the relaxation nervous system, the rest and digest nervous system, the healing nervous system, also called the parasympathetic nervous system, relaxing the body. The body heals when it's relaxed. It doesn't heal when it's stressed. It's as simple as that. And I know it sounds maybe to the uninitiated or to folks who haven't listened to this program airy-fairy, but it's not. It's fundamental to good health. And that means, most importantly, practicing slow, deep breathing. I mean, sitting on the couch, 15 seconds, inhaling 15 seconds in through the nose, slowly. Most people can't even do 15 seconds, but start off at 5 seconds or 6 seconds or 10 seconds. And then again, slowly out through the nose, exhaling, again, 15 seconds. And it's always helpful to exhale more than you inhale, because the exhale is actually where you activate the relaxation nervous system. So inhaling for 15 seconds and then exhaling for 16 or 17 seconds, or inhaling for 10 and then exhaling for 15. So digestion, blood sugar, calm the body down, relax the body. These are all extremely important. And don't minimize the power of a good fast and also of these relaxation techniques. I hope we helped you out, Eric. Thanks for your call, buddy, and God bless you and good luck. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. I'm going to read a couple of letters when we come back from our break. A couple of letters that I've gotten off of criticalhealthnews.com. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. I am Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We have an empty board, a full board of empty calls, I guess you'd say. So I'm going to take some letters here, which I've been meaning to do for a long time. I've been getting tons of letters on criticalhealthnews.com from Dr. Wallach's appearance. Every time Doc goes on, every time I go on, or Dr. Glidden goes on, we get bombarded with letters. And it's so tragic to me, because while all these letters sound different, they're not really different, because health challenges really at their core all involve the same things. This is so important. If you're new listening to this program, please listen up. If you heard me say this before, it bears repeating. All diseases have the same, chronic degenerative diseases have the same problems underneath the symptoms. Whether the symptoms involve the eyes or the joints or the liver or whatever, the bones, the muscles, whether you have irritable bowel syndrome or COPD or multifocal chorditis or superativa, hidradenitis suppurativa, or any of these crazy medical diagnoses, underneath it all, you will find inflammation/immunity. You will find this attack defense mechanism. The body's attacked and it's defending itself. You will find a stress response behind everything. That means backtrack to where this stress response is being initiated, where the attack is coming from, what is causing the inflammation/immunity, and you will always find A, digestive health issues, B, blood sugar issues, and 3, an activated stress response, an activated adrenal system. Always, 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 always. Why is this important? Because it means that simply by backtracking to stabilizing the adrenal gland by calming the body down, to stabilizing the blood sugar by making sure you're not eating the stuff, sugar that is, and anything that breaks down to sugar, and by making sure you're using supplements that help you process sugar, and most importantly, stabilizing, working on digestive health, eliminating problem foods, and using nutrition and supplements that help support the digestive system. Now, I'm not talking about the spiritual and mental and emotional components yet, or at all, because as important as those are, this is a nutritional program. Yes, its spiritual and mental and emotional aspects are critical, maybe even more critical than the physical aspects. They may even precede physical maladies and physical degeneration. But as far as the physical aspects of health go, inflammation and immunity, attack and defense, and the stress response are behind everything. This is where, and behind, by the way, attack and defense and stress response and inflammation and immunity, you got dirty blood. This is our control point. Our control point from a physical perspective is to clean the blood. Joyce writes, I listened to Coast, I heard Dr. Wallach. My husband has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and he has an eye condition called multifocal chorditis. Is there anything you can do for these symptoms? He's 65, and this is the best part. I hear this all the time. He's 65, and he's in good health otherwise. Folks, if you have COPD and multifocal chorditis, your body's falling apart. You're not in pretty good health. Now, I'm not saying this to rip on this poor lady who just wants some help, but this is the thinking that gets us in trouble. I'm in good health except for my COPD and my multifocal chorditis. Just to be clear, multifocal chorditis is an eye condition. It's an inflammation of a part of the eye, the coating of the eye, which surprise, surprise, is the cornea. So chorditis is an inflammation of the cornea. It's an inflammation of the surface of the eye, of part of the eye. Inflammation means immunity. Immunity means defense. COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, is going to affect how the blood is oxygenated. That's going to lead to dirty blood. Now, forget the cause of the COPD. The cause of the COPD could be smoking. It usually involves something like that. But the problem with COPD is the blood is not getting oxygenated, and it's leading to a degeneration of the body. A lack of oxygen is a major cause of stress, which tells you something very, very important. You can anti-stress, you can reverse the stress response by oxygenating. COPD is going to cause serious problems with oxygenation. It's going to lead to degeneration, secondary to the stress response. Sitting on the couch, practicing your deep breathing techniques is absolutely vital. Then this woman is going to, or her husband, is going to need to do things for her blood that support oxygenation. Nutritional supplements are going to be vital, especially the B complex and essential fatty acids, also magnesium. Of course, if there's blood sugar issues, and almost always there's going to be because these precede all breakdown, you need to stabilize the blood sugar, use chromium, vanadium, the B complex, the sweeties, and then there's the whole digestive link. That means food diary and elimination diet. Now listen, I know you've heard this a million times. I've said it over and over and over again, and I'll continue to say it. This is so important that we understand this simplicity. Now, our coast-to-coast listeners who are writing these letters, they don't listen to this program. They haven't heard this program. They don't know this, but you guys do. If you're listening to this program, please understand, no matter what your health challenges are, backtrack to these simple threads that run underneath it all. Another letter from Danielle. Heard you on Coast to Coast. Wish I would have started your regimen before I got sick. I heard you mention Bell's palsy. I was diagnosed with Bell's palsy, and I'm absolutely miserable. No kidding, of course. It's a miserable condition. That's when you have these terrible twitches in your face. Awful condition, and it is miserable. Danielle continues, I've also had problems with depression, low energy, and anxiety. Well, of course, because nobody just has Bell's palsy. Oh, and then this. Actually, I'm a pretty happy person. Well, how can you be a happy person if you're depressed and have low energy and anxiety and Bell's palsy? This is the disconnect that we have, and I'm not ripping on Danielle. I just want to show you guys how we set the bar so low on our health that we think we're happy even though we're depressed and have low energy and anxiety. Bell's palsy is an electrical problem. It's caused by neurology, the nerves. It's tinnitus of the face. It's Alzheimer's disease of the face. It's macular degeneration of the face. It's the same problem. It's an inflammatory condition that's affecting the nerves in the face, just like tinnitus is an inflammatory condition that affects the nerves in the ear. Just like macular degeneration is an inflammatory condition that affects the macula, and just like Alzheimer's disease is an inflammatory condition that affects the frontal cortex, the cognitive centers of the brain. Just like Parkinson's disease is an inflammatory condition that affects the back of the brain, the movement centers of the brain. Just like arthritis is a joint inflammatory condition that affects the joints, it's the same thing. Bell's palsy is arthritis of the face. So what do? Well, you reduce inflammation, you reduce the immune system, the stimulated immune system, you prevent the attack, which is always coming in through the digestive system. For Bell's palsy, Danielle, what you do, number one, is you work on your digestive system. Eliminate problem foods, do a fast if you have to, food diary, etc. Use probiotics, the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Use digestive enzymes after all meals or with all meals, the Ultimate Enzymes and apple cider vinegar. Stabilize the blood sugar. Now, I know Danielle, if she's listening, saying, well, I don't have a problem with my blood sugar. I just have a problem with Bell's palsy. They're connected. The Bell's palsy is a manifestation of dysglycemia. And behind Bell's palsy, and behind Alzheimer's disease, and behind tinnitus, and behind arthritis, you will find dysglycemia. You will find digestive issues, and you'll find a lack of oxygen and a stress response. So continuing, working on the digestive system, stabilizing the blood sugar, and then making sure that you're sitting on the couch and practicing your slow, deep breathing techniques, and then getting on a good nutritional supplement program. The reason nutritional supplements are so important is because they tell the body it's safe. That's really what we're talking about here, you guys. Telling the body it's safe. Everything in life, from an amoeba to a bacteria to an animal to a rodent to a human, everything in life wants to be safe, needs to be safe, will not thrive unless it is safe. If you're having a problem in your relationships, guaranteed, somebody doesn't feel safe. If you have a problem with your children, if you have a problem with your customers, if you have a problem with your boss, if you have a problem with your husband or wife or girlfriend, guaranteed, somebody doesn't feel safe. And if you have a problem with your body, likewise, somewhere in your body there is a lack of safety. And this follows a lack of nutrition, a lack of oxygen, and a chronic attack from sugar and from the digestive system. So turning it around requires helping the body feel safe, making the body feel safe. The key ways to do it are to reduce anything that's getting in that's attacking the system through the digestive system, lowering and stabilizing the blood sugar, and making sure you're oxygenating correctly. Nothing's going to tell the body it's not safe faster than a lack of oxygen, which means simply sitting on the couch and practicing your slow, deep breathing can activate the safety response, can activate the healing nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, and begin to reverse any chronic degenerative disease. Here's another one. Weight loss. Weight loss is or weight gain, inability to lose weight, is a classic sign of an activated emergency response. If you are trying to lose weight and you can't, understand this. Relaxing the body, activating the parasympathetic relaxation nervous system is one of the fastest ways to lose weight. How do you do it? Sitting on the couch, practicing your deep breathing, reducing your intake of sugar, using nutrients that help you process sugar, eliminating problem foods, using nutrients that support the digestive system, and of course getting on a good, solid, well-rounded, robust nutritional supplement program like the one designed by Dr. Wallach. You can find out all about it by heading over to my website, brightsideben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, or pharmacistben.com. If you're interested in purchasing any of our Truth Treatment products, go to truthtreatments.com. Thanks for listening, friends. Have a wonderful, awesome, beautiful, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.